I am extremely happy that we are organizing the discussion. But then, after listening to Professor Gopal Guru and Professor Mohan Gopal, I am delighted to contribute something. Okay, and in fact, it is too late on part of speaker like me to enter into the debate. But they still, after hearing both these my learned and competent eminent colleagues, I think it is necessary for me to say few words about what exactly merit is. See, first and foremost is those who are considered that they are not meritorious, the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and OBCs particularly, they are in favor of merit. This is the first proposition. Say, I belong to scheduled caste, Mohan belongs to OBC, that whoever, that is 70% or 80% population, those who are suffering from the concept of merit in this country, they are staunchly in favor of merit. This is the first proposition. We are challenging Brahminical merit. We are challenging Brahminic merit. And I think after listening the discussion, there are certain missing links. And I was just waiting for the opportunity to fill up those missing links. First of all, you are deciding the merit of an individual, and you are not deciding the merit of the group of a society or a section of a society. Now, this is the basic contradiction. Your merit in India is basically marks based. How many marks you are getting in SSC, HSC, BA, BCom, BSc, or whatever examination? Ultimately, marks are considered as the index of the merit. Now, this is individual concept of merit. And this individual concept of merit is quite understandable, but the basic contradiction is I am talking of theory of merit. See, we are imposing norms, we are imposing political consideration, we are imposing constitutional considerations of on the concept of merit. That is quite understandable. But basically, there are certain fundamental theoretical issues involved in regard to how to measure merit. When you are talking that your individual is meritorious, A is meritorious, and B is not meritorious, you are involving interpersonal comparison of merit. Now, the A belongs to Brahmin community, B belongs to scheduled caste community, and when you are comparing the marks of two individuals in totally unequal society of construction of the opportunities, unequal conditions of living, unequal conditions of heritage, unequal conditions of education level of parents, unequal level of the status of the entire family gamut, the access to resources, knowledge, health, and all other things. Basically, you are comparing the merit of the two individuals, those who are products to two different social subsystems within the system. That's why basically what we have to demolish is that individual concept of merit, okay, is mixed up with the group identity, because scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and the OBCs, they are considered as born to be non-meritorious. This is the presumption, and this presumption is directly coming from the Brahminical system of hierarchy. See, Ambedkar argued that it is India is not suffering only from inequality. Ambedkar was the first sociologist to argue in the entire discussion and debate on caste that India is no, inequality is there everywhere in the country. Inequality of opportunity, inequality of income and wealth. India is beyond that. Indian caste system has created graded unequal social order. That's why you are comparing the merit of unequal the individuals A, B, C, D in situated in unequal social order, and that is why their interpersonal comparison of merit is theoretically, ethically, normatically, and philosophically dubious. It is a fraud. In Indian context, whenever I debated merit, in Indian context, the merit, the way to utilize, way it is used, way it is operationalized, that is fraud on the concept of merit. Because second point is this preordained concept of merit is caste based, and efficiency also is caste based. This means, as I mentioned to you, that the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, or OBC, those who are getting reservations in the government services and education systems, they are considered as intrinsically non-meritorious. And this is what is objectionable, because merit concept is there everywhere in the world. Now, but that concept is not utilized interpersonal comparison of utility. Here, merit is, Mohan Gopala just now mentioned Sattva, Rajas, and Tama. These are the three guns, these are the three qualities. And there are three qualities in your past birth. This is ideological instrument. It is not only political instrument, it is ideological instrument, it is theoretical construct, it is social construct in the hands of the ruling classes and caste to deprive the equal opportunity to the members of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, because as you and Gopal Guru just now mentioned, because they will, this kind of merit, once it is considered that which is not interpersonal, that will break the shackles of the oligarchy. Now what I want to mention here is that uh, any capitalist society for that matter, merit is considered the index of capitalist system. Capitalist system is based on the competition, and competition ultimately results in monopoly. That's why when Brahminical people they are arguing the construct of merit, that is socially, artificially construct of merit, is a social construct. It is not natural construct. Natural construct is men are born equal. Men are born equal. They become unequal because they are located, situated, subjected to, humiliated to different socio-economic sets of conditions. But men are born equal. Brahminical concept of merit based on marking system is basically nullifying the universal principle that the philosophers have developed, that men are born equal. Let me give you one simple illustration. I'm extremely sorry to elaborate, but let me give one simple illustration. The kind of progress, academic, economic, intellectual, in politics, in technology, scheduled caste and scheduled tribes have made, and even partly OBC because they were given reservation quite late. The kind of progress that the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes have made in different walks of life during last 50 years, this is miracle. This means they are, according to them, they are now meritorious because the conditions which were made favorable to exploit their potential, leading them toward the merit, the way it is defined. Even they perform with the concept of the Brahminical merit concept of mark. Even if you consider Brahminical merit based on the mark, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and OBCs, those who are getting marks in the various examination, the gap between the first Brahminical merit and the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes OBCs is becoming narrower and narrower. That's why the basic point is, even if you apply Brahminical merit, then also they are able to compete. Then when you denounce Brahminical merit and bring the scientific merit, that concept I shall be speaking something after 5 minutes. Then if the Brahminical merit also they are coming forward, scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, now professors, academics, intellectual, scientific, scientists, judges, not a single area, including women, and so is the case with the OBCs. Now this proves that interpersonal comparison of merit based on marks situated in unequal social conditions, political conditions, educational conditions is ethically immoral. And that is the second premise, that the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and OBCs, to mention the social categories, they are in favor of the merit, but not the Brahminical merit. And Brahminical merit means hierarchy, inequality, humiliation, subjugation, then unequal opportunity structure, and brutal exploitation and discrimination. Now, merit coming out of these social stigmas, applying uniformly to all the sections of the society, is absolutely dubious and fraud on the basic concept of human society based on the principle that men are born equal. Let me give the simple illustration again, once again. Suppose, for example, let us consider that the country is handled today by the meritorious people. The country's economy is absolutely in shackles. Political system has been totally derailed. Judicial system is totally in crisis. 4.5 lakhs people died just because of pandemic. Third after America, Brazil, and India. Third, India is ranking third. Now, under all these conditions, corruption is rampant. Now, under these conditions, I would ask the people, those who are holding Brahminical concept of merit, who is managing today India? Today, India is taken to the ride. India is getting destroyed. Indian fabric is socially becoming totally broken. Indian political system is utterly in crisis because it is based on totally Brahminical concept of merit. Now, for example, Mr. Vijay Mallya, who robbed the State Bank of India for 6,000 crores of rupees, was he scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, or OBC? Mr. Choksi, he robbed about 20,000 crores of rupees and demolished Punjab National Bank of India. That's why who was he? Scheduled caste, scheduled tribe. That's why the concept of merit which is used in order to preserve and maintain and perpetuate the monopoly and the oligopoly and the oligarchy, now they are responsible for destroying the nation. Today, nation is at the crossroad. Your constitution is challenged because constitution rejects Brahminism. Unfortunately, let me mention, I should not forget, when we are praising the constitution, we should mention one thing, that there is one word which is used in the constitution which is agitating me since I read the constitution at the age of 24. It is mentioned that the claims of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in the public services will be taken into consideration consist in the norms of the efficiency. I think this was the flaw in the constitution, because what happens is, once you use the norms of the criteria of the efficiency, it means that once you recruit the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes and OBC, their recruitment should not be disturbed the efficiency order. Here, unfortunately, and that was the compromise. That was the compromise after reading the Constituent Assembly debate that Ambedkar had to make. Ambedkar was against introducing the concept of efficiency, but the other members of the Constituent Assembly insisted that it's okay, reservation policy is necessary, it is desirable, but let us mention it should not affect efficiency. And precisely now, the people, those who are holding the Brahminical merit, they are upholding the principle of efficiency, because if you recruit scheduled caste and scheduled tribes and OBCs with lower percentage of marks, which is the dubious index of the merit, then that considered that they consider that is the efficiency will be jeopardy. Now, first is interpersonal comparison of ability. This one your merit. Nowhere in the world is practiced. Then group identity is superimposed on the individual. All of us have worked in the education system. When scheduled caste person becomes judge, people feel now he will be able to deliver the justice. When scheduled caste person is appointed as vice chancellor, people ask, will he be able to manage the university system? When professor is asked, then they are easily will he be able to give the justice to the professorship? They say up to lecturer, it is okay. Up to readers, exactly for. But professor, you can't be from scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. These governments, including the Congress governments, have shamefully devised the concept of centers of excellence. What is centers of excellence? And centers of excellence, they do not allow recruitment or the entry from the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes and scheduled caste. You and myself, we are member of the oversight committee when 27% reservations were given to the OBCs in the education institutions in 2006 when Arjun Singh Ji was HRD minister. And then Modi committee was there, and you and myself, we were members of the committee, and we debated this issue. And then centers of excellence. Now, centers of excellence means what? Centers of excellence means those who are getting better marks, situated in unequal conditions, they are centers of excellence. I think, according to us, we should make the attack. The centers of excellence themselves are creating the havoc in the system. Finance minister, let us take into account. I don't want to comment upon the individual. How many finance minister in the country were eligible and genuinely understanding economic theory and economic policy, economic implications, and the integration of with the world economy? I mean, some of the finance minister don't know ABCD of economics. And that is why the people were preferring certain people, that presidential system. That's why those who know certain areas, they will be chosen there. That's why the question is, we are against totally this Brahminical order. Why? Because it is based on caste, it is preordained. Then here, instead of individual merit, it is group merit is imposed upon the individual merit. There is nowhere in the world that individual merit is mixed with the group merit. These are the reasons that Brahminical merit is a demerit. It is again the fundamental concept of merit. It is social construct. It is ideology. It is an instrument not only of political power. It is a myth. And what happens is, when it is a particular, when you are getting living conditions which are in real, you can challenge them. But merit has become myth. Even scheduled caste and scheduled tribe students also feel sometimes inferior, that we have got so many less marks and now we get can admission. That's why ascription oriented role of the caste, ascription oriented professional occupations, hereditary concept of caste based on birth, exploitation, humiliation, and privileges in the hands of the 10 or 15% people of the country, which are unfortunately have been reaping the benefits in this society, economic, political, social. They have created the myth of the bogus social construct of merit, and that we want to demolish. Let me now come to the scientific merit. Okay, I'm extremely sorry, Mohan, but then I wanted to. I was eager to say something about it.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. Please,
Uh,
very
Now,
wonderful.
now, now, what is scientific? When we say that we are opposed to Brahminic merit, we are opposed to Brahminism. In fact, Brahminical merit means the concept of merit derived from Brahminism. And let us understand one thing clearly. While delivering lecture in Manmad GIP Railway Federation of Workers, Ambedkar clearly said that Brahminism and capitalism, these are the twin enemies of the laboring classes. And he further said, I must hasten to add that when I say Brahminism, I am not referring to Brahmins, those who are born in a Brahmin caste. I am referring to Brahminism as an ideology which is hereditary, which is exploitative, which is created grading inequality, and which is denying injustice to the large sections of the society and monopolizing the privileges of the few in the few hands and creating perpetuating monopoly, which is basically antagonistic to the basic principles of democracy based on liberty, equality, and fraternity and justice. Now, coming to scientific, when we say scientific merit, we must define scientific merit, and you and Gopal Guru have mentioned some of the points. Now, suppose, for example, when you are judging or measuring the individual merit, and you can't escape from that. And while we defining the individual merit, rejection of Brahminical merit, we come to the scientific method of measuring the merit. The first is individual quotient of intelligence. As I said that men are born equal. That's why the intelligent quotient of individual person also is born equally. And it is the privilege of all individuals born not only in India, across the globe, because men have certain inherent qualities. And that is why men are born. What is the meaning of men are born equal? Men are born equal because they inherit genetically, socially, physically, and biologically certain inherent common qualities. For example, fear. Brahmin child, 4-year-old, is fearing from fire. Scheduled caste also child will be fearing from fire. Scheduled caste child wants protection when child 4-year-old. Brahmin child also. That's why the basic qualities, basic human virtues, basic concepts, basic qualities of being a man or woman or male or female, they are they are equally inherited. And in that sense, I believe, and the principle of men are born equal believes, that every individual, devoid of caste, class, gender, race, and color, they have got equal intelligent quotient. Now, this equal intelligent quotient has to be materialized. And for materializing equal intelligent quotient of the individual, you have to create equal opportunity structure. We are opposed to Brahminic measure because that concept of merit is the creation of unequal opportunity structure. If suppose, for example, when I was vice chancellor, I said, if vice chancellor's son or daughter getting 95% marks and Bihar district Mongir agricultural laborer's son or daughter getting 45% marks, then according to me, agricultural laborer's sons or daughters 45% marks, according to me, because of unequal conditions, are more meritorious than my son or daughter whose father is vice chancellor. Here we are bringing on not only scientific consideration, we are bringing also ethical consideration. But people did not listen to ethical consideration. People want practical condition. You show me your father, otherwise you show me, you get this kind of punishment. That's why the problem is basically the how intelligent quotient, which is inherently equally inherited, for its materialization of that potential equal intelligence quotient, you must create an equal opportunity structure which Brahminism denies. Now, Brahminism rejects equal opportunity structure, creates unequal opportunity structure, and merit born of unequal opportunity structure is opposed by them because that will be leading ultimately to equal opportunity structure. This is the basic contradiction of Brahminism. Brahminism has created unequal opportunity structure. In order to perpetuate that unequal opportunity structure, they have created the bogey of the marks or the ranking, which is dubious because their creation, they are the social product, they are the political product, they are the economic product born out of totally unequal, dissimilar, discriminated condition. Second quality of the individual, if we measure a scientific method, is the problem solving capacity of the individual. Now, problem solving capacity. That today those who are managing, right from the Prime Minister of the country, according to me, Mr. Narendra Modi, if we consider the merit, today is the entire government of India, Minister of Council meritorious so far their problem solving capacity is concerned? Can any Prime Minister declare that 86% of the currency notes of 500 and 1000 rupees will be demonetized and the economy will be treated into beggary? Okay, that 9th September 2016 Prime Minister Narendra Modi's decision of demonetizing 500 possible. Now, is it meritorious consideration of the prime? Let me begin with the Prime Minister himself. Now, the question is that merit has become dubious instrument, ideological instrument in the hands of the ruling classes in the ruling class to beat the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes and OBCs for that matter. That's a problem solving capacity of the individual. Also, is the second ingredient so far the intelligent quotient, so far the scientific method is concerned. Third important quality of the scientific method is analytical quality, analytical skills of the individual. See, basically, universe moves in motion in certain consistent manner. Now, consistency, it means that now there is certain amount of inconsistency, certain amount of consistency. Now, why there is consistency and why there is inconsistency? That has to be analyzed with the analytical skill. And again, analytical skill of the individual, okay, they are to some extent commonly inherited, but analytical skills are not believed in India. Now, for example, scheduled caste person prepares a MiG jet. Now, is he not intelligent? But if he was, do you expect that the son or daughter of the agricultural laborers in Mongir district or Koraput district in suppose Odisha, they will be competing so far your IAS and IPS examination is concerned? Now, and then again, JJS, for example, IPS, IAS, you'll find that entire family inheritance is there going on. What is your colleging system? Colleging system, what are good or bad? But you will find generations of the people are recruited in the JJS. At least I shall mention 3, 4 generations. A, B, C, D. That son, father, grandson, granddaughter, his son, and etc. etc. Now, no system in the world which perpetuates this kind of monopoly, this kind of inheritance. That's why third in quality of the scientific merit is analytical skill. Fourth point is innovative and entrepreneurial capacity of an individual. Now, scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, they have formed DICI, okay, Dalit Chamber of Commerce and Industries. They have got small scale industry, they have got micro industries. The moment to get the government credit when the banks were nationalized, Even the small farmers becoming more productive. Now, for example, let me tell you, people those who are getting first class in agricultural economics. I taught agricultural economics. They do not know ABCD of agricultural economics. When I was teaching economics at MA level, agricultural economics, the first class student of agricultural economics in Mumbai University, the girls did not distinguish between Jawar and Bajra. I had to take in piece of paper what is Jawar and Bajra. Is this the merit? That's why we must require, along with intelligent quotient, problem solving capacity, analytical skills, and the innovative and entrepreneurial capacity of the individual. Fourth point is, fifth point is ability to take risk, because ability to take risk also is extremely important if we want to go ahead in the life. Fevile ananti taise chirave, it means that you must live in perpetuated life, the condition in which God has saved you. This is another myth, because the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes and OBCs did not fight against that kind of injustice, and this kind of myth is being created. And the last point is the what is called the ethical considerations. Merit has a social dimension, and all that we have mentioned, Professor Mohan Gopal and Gopal Guru, and you brought that egalitarian principle, ethical principle, constitutional values, constitutional principle, etc., etc. They are extremely important because man is living in a group of society. Man, according to Aristotle, is a social animal. In fact, for that matter, all animals are social because all animals are living in groups. And Aristotle was partially wrong. All crows are flying together in the sky. All birds are flying together. All lions and lionesses, they are living together. That's why Aristotle is wrong, because man is social animal. It's not true. Completely true. All animals are basically living together. But my point is that ability to live together, and also ability to problem solving. The six scientific criterion or criteria together constitute what is scientific merit. That's why first Brahminical order created a myth of merit, which is an ideological instrument to perpetuate the monopoly of a small sections of the society. Interpersonal comparison of merit based on marks is absolutely fraud, because differently situated people's sons or daughters merit based on marks, to compare them together in uniform standard, it is absolutely ethically unstandard. Third, those who are living in unequal conditions, they should not be subjected to equal standard, because treating unequals equally is as bad as treating unequals equally and equals unequally. Brahminical order is treating unequals equally, because differently situated groups are treated unequally, and you are utilizing one common standard, equal standard, to measure their intelligence quotient. This is absolutely wrong. And the last point is this: the kind of merit which is used in India based on the caste, preordained, ascriptorial of caste, is taking this country backward. As all of you are aware, and you have written extensively, you have spoken intensively, in not a single country there is quota for reservation. All countries in the world, they have affirmative action, but they don't have quota. America doesn't have quota, but without having quota, they are giving more justice to the blacks than India, which has prescribed the quota, because those who are implementing the quota, they are against the quota. That's why it is not enough that law is made. It is necessary. Law is a necessary condition of social justice. But if the law is operationalized by a group of section against whose interest that law is, it is absolutely unacceptable that law will be properly implemented. That's why India is operating this vicious circle of caste-based, ascriptive-based role of caste, giving rise to the index of marks, which is involving interpersonal comparison of the two individuals belonging to two different unequal set of conditions. is absolutely ethically, politically, scientifically, philosophically, and ideologically dubious. It must be demolished, and then only we shall dream of egalitarian Indian social order. Thank you very much, Mohan, for bearing with me and all other speakers and all other viewers. Thank you very much.